Good evening and welcome to UEFA Euro 2024 live as the knockout stages get underway. We're down to 16 teams and only one can emerge victorious. Over the next 2 weeks we'll be rounding off the Euro 2024 competition as 16 end up becoming one winner. We start with the holders of the competition taking on Switzerland, who knocked out the world champions back in 2021. France at this stage, Italy looking to retain the trophy for only the second time in European Championships history, and Switzerland not easy opposition for the Azzurri in Berlin. Over the next 4 days we will have the round of 16, 2 games per day, so you'll be packed with action all the way through until Tuesday afternoon. Let's have a look at the route to the final then before we get the teams, and we start down in the bottom right corner of the bracket as Switzerland take on Italy. The winner of this game will face the winner of England against Slovakia, so we could have a repeat of the 2021 final in the quarterfinals if England and Italy both progress. This is the somewhat easier side of the draw, with we look at to the left hand side of the likes of Spain, Germany, Portugal, France, Belgium amongst them on the left hand side of the draw, and it's not pretty easy, that one. We could have a matchup, as I said before we finish the group stages. 3 previous finals could be the matchups for 3 of our quarterfinals. Spain, Germany, Portugal, France, and as I said, England, Italy could be 3 link-ups for the quarterfinals if they were to progress, and they were 3 previous Euros finals. The route to the final is certain, and we start in the venue for the final here this afternoon. Italy and Switzerland, both hoping they will be re-entering this stadium in just over 2 weeks' time to lift this glorious trophy. Let's have a look at the teams then for this one. And Switzerland start again with that back 3 that Murat Yakin likes to play. Jan Sommer starts in goal. Michel Aebischer, we think, is playing right wing back this afternoon with a back 3 of Fabian Schär, Manuel Akanji and Ricardo Rodriguez in that unchanged back 3 that seems to have got Switzerland to this point so far. Fabian Rieder comes in at left wing back with Remo Freuler and Granit Xhaka, the 2 in midfield. Xhaka, the captain, of course, unchanged. Both Freuler and Xhaka, if they are booked this afternoon, will miss a possible quarter-final tie if they were to get there. Ruben Vargas, Dan Ndoye and Brelin Bolo are the front 3 to lead Switzerland here against Italy. On the bench for the Swiss is Mavogo, Kobel, Elvedi, Zager, Stergiu, Zakaria, Ciro, Shaqiri, Yassiri, Okafor, Stefan, Zuber, Dua and Amdouni. For the Azzurri and Luciano Spalletti's team, return to a back 4 after playing a back 3 in their last game of the group stages against Croatia. Gigi Donnarumma continues in goal and captains the Italian side. A back 4, one change to the back 4 this afternoon. Giovanni Di Lorenzo. Gianluca Mancini is that change alongside Alessandro Bastoni after Calafiore's suspension. Matteo Darmian makes it in at left back. A midfield 3 of Nicolo Fagioli, Brian Cristante and Nicolo Barella make up the midfield 3. Federico Chiesa off the right, Stefan El Shaarawy off left hand side, and Gianluca Scamacca leading the line for Italy. Vicario, Merit, Buongiorno, Gatti, Fratesi, Pellegrini, Bellanova, Cambiaso, Ferraronchu, Jorginho, Di Marco, Raspadori, Retegui and Zaccagni are on the bench. Zaccagni, who scored that late equalising goal for Italy against Croatia to secure this partnership for the round of 16. Switzerland and Italy get the round of 16 underway in Berlin. Kickoff is next. A very good evening and welcome to Euro 2024 with me, Kevin Ferris, and we will have all eight round of 16 ties for you. We have every year right until the final in just over 2 weeks' time. 15 days before we're back here in the Olympiastadion, the Olympic Stadium in Berlin, to crown our winner. Italy want to do that for only the second time in history. Switzerland looking to get to a quarter-final of this competition for only the second time in their history. They've done it against France 3 years ago. Can they do it against the European champions 3 years later? Switzerland in all red and Italy in all blue as we get underway in the Olympiastadion in the German capital, the venue for this final. And we will be highly anticipating that final in a few weeks' time as Switzerland got off to a good start there, and Bolo got into the box, had his cross blocked by Mancini, instantly involved, and it will be a Swiss throw. Well, Italy, of course, start this one without probably their best performer at the back in the tournament, Riccardo Calafiori, as they give away an early corner there by Cristante with a weird deflection there. It almost looked in towards his own goal. Looked like Donnarumma had it covered, but it was Reeder that chopped onto his left foot and struck it. Came off Cristante behind for a Swiss corner. Early doors here. Well, Italy were shell-shocked in their opening group game by conceding after 23 seconds. They don't want to repeat that, and conceding early in games. Left-footed delivery into the box, and it was Bastoni to clear it away. Back down the left-hand side for Switzerland, as it comes all the way back to Ricardo Rodriguez. Good start from the Swiss. Positive start. Ooh, as Akanji just slipped there, but Fabian Schär had it covered. And Jan Sommer goes long, but it's actually Eibischer playing off the left, Reeder off the right, so that's what we feel is happening there as Switzerland get a free kick. Granit Xhaka, the former Arsenal midfielder, fouled there by Nico Barella. Just in midfield, Murat Yakin, the Swiss head coach, watching on. His side have been one of the, not shock impressive sides, but certainly not one of the big sides or one of the well-tipped sides, but they did very well in the groups, beating Hungary on match day 1 and draws back-to-back 1-1 draws with Scotland and Germany, the hosts. They actually led Germany for a long time in that game. Actually took an early lead, Dan and Doy, in the first half before a 92nd minute equaliser from Nicholas Füllkrug denied Switzerland top spot in the group, which would have been a real turn-up for the books. We've already seen some smaller sides shock the big sides in topping their group, Austria and Romania, to name the two biggest shocks so far. Luciano Spalletti's side have not had it all their own way in trying to retain their title. They had to come from behind early on against Albania on match day 1 of the group and really struggled against Spain on match day 2, despite it being an own goal that decided the points, but Italy were nowhere near the level that day. And then they had to come from behind again against Croatia to equalise late on to secure that place, but Italy certainly not convincing so far, but they're in this position and they've got the wind in their sails, shall we say. Here's Ruben Vargas for Switzerland. Xhaka to Rodriguez. Now back to Ruben Vargas off the left-hand side. Takes on Di Lorenzo. Lifts a ball in. And Bastoni with a diving header to clear it out for the throw-in. Seen those dangerous swingers up against Di Lorenzo before, most notably in that Spain game, when the young Nico Williams tore him to pieces in that first half. Might have a similar type of problem with Ruben Vargas here this evening. Switzerland again, working around the box. Frohler and Berlin Bolo tried to flick it on, but well dealt with by Gianluca Mancini. Italy try and counter there, but that ball far too ahead of Stefan El Shaarawy. Of course, one of the number of changes for Italy this evening, El Shaarawy, making his first appearance in the tournament tonight. Certainly not a big name, or a name that many would have put down on their list. A 31-year-old scored 7 goals for Italy at international level in 31 previous appearances, the Roma forward. Certainly experienced in his trade. It's not hot-footed it for Italy. And I made the point in one of my previous games, there's not many Italian players. There's only one player in the current squad that have actually scored double figures goals, and that was Nico Barella. Coming into the tournament, none of the Italian players had scored double figures goals at international level, which probably could have been a worry for Italy coming into this tournament. So far, that's kind of been all the talk of how Italy haven't really had that potent striker up front, that killer in front of goal, and could harm them as the tournament goes on. As Mancini tries to go over the top, looking for El Shaarawy, breaks into the box, tried to cross it but couldn't connect with it completely well there, and a real battle there. El Shaarawy was in with the Swiss defender. That time, actually it was Dan and Doy that dropped really deep, defending El Shaarawy, tracked him all the way, ended up winning the free kick for Switzerland there. Here's Rodriguez. As it comes all the way back to Jan Sommer. Switzerland have probably started the better of the two teams in terms of the attacking front so far. Shown comfortable possession in the middle. Italy just waiting for their moment as Switzerland give the ball away there. Scamacca. Now Chiesa in his own half, having to spin away from a few to keep possession. Bastoni. Another impressive player for Italy at the back, Bastoni. Strong centre-back. Problem for one of those Italian players as Xhaka picks up the ball now for Switzerland. Down the left it comes. Aebischer. Xhaka. Now out to Vargas. Steps in field pretty quickly. Has to come back out to Aebischer. Rodriguez. Aebischer. Switzerland try and play through the lines. Here's Rodriguez. Tried to break down the left there, but Mancini and Di Lorenzo were there in accordance. As Vargas, though, picks it back up from Di Lorenzo's clearance. Certainly can't get out at the moment, Italy. Good start from Switzerland. Here's Vargas again. Aebischer. Back across to Akanji. Xhaka. Finds Aebischer. Now Rodriguez, and Aebischer goes down. Under a challenge from Brian Cristante. Will be a Swiss free kick. At the moment, Italy have no option to get out. Really struggling to get out of their own defensive third in these first 8.5 minutes. And Switzerland get a chance to try and whip a ball in to test the Italian defence. They've had over 70% of the possession, Switzerland, so far. There's a worry here for Nico Barella, who's gone down while there is a break in play. We'll just see this again. It's in a challenge a bit earlier on with Remo Freuler. Yeah, he kind of could be a hamstring problem here. And Italy are warming players up, so it might be the end of Nico Barella's day, if not tournament. This would be huge. Remember what I said, the only player with double figures goals for Italy. Scored that ultimate winner against Albania on match day 1, did Barella. He is back to his feet. Whether he's okay to continue, he's wincing a slight bit as he walks on that left leg. Of course, one to keep a very close eye on. Italy will not want to lose him, a hard worker in midfield. And a definite goal scorer as well. He's still kind of limping on that leg. Hasn't dampened the feelings of those Italian fans, though. They're still bouncing and singing. And let's stand away to the right-hand side of the commentary position. As Vargas ready to take this free kick for Switzerland. Alongside Eibischer will be Vargas. Squared across. That's out to Freuler. Now to the right-hand side. Left-footed delivery. Kanji was in there. Couldn't flick it on. And Italy get the clearance. Scamacca. As again, Italy seen off the ball, but Fagioli there had nowhere to go. And again, Italy just cannot break out of their own half at the moment. It was a pretty poor free set piece there from Switzerland. Vargas though, nice 1-2. Pulled down there, Vargas. The referee says no. And Italy won the ball fairly according to the officials. Chiesa battling again, but can't turn on the ball, and closed down once more by Switzerland. Really strong from the Swiss. Xhaka. Akanji. Back to Granit Xhaka. Lift one over the top, looking for Ndoye. The strike is not a clean connection there. And it will fizz all the way across. But Dan Ndoye made a nice run in behind. Lovely ball by Xhaka, and he just tried to take it first time, Ndoye, but he didn't catch it right, and it come off just skimmed off his foot. Went well across goal, bouncing across, out for the goal kick, but good to stretch that Italian defence. Dan Ndoye's made those runs. As I said, he scored that goal against Germany to give Switzerland the lead on the third group game. Di Lorenzo tried to find the run of Chiesa down the right-hand side, but massively overhit that one. Di Lorenzo. And Switzerland again will just recycle the ball. Not much pressure from Italy early doors here. And I'm sure Luciano Spalletti will not particularly be happy with his side start, but long way to go yet. Here's Vargas. And there's two Swiss players on the floor. Vargas is one of them. There's another player further infield. It was Eibischer maybe. Di Lorenzo was involved. See that again. It was Mancini that stepped across to Eibischer. The ball found its way to Vargas, and Di Lorenzo kind of connected with Ruben Vargas. Might be lucky to get away with one there. Di Lorenzo and not get any more than just giving away a free kick. And he is over checking on Vargas there, Di Lorenzo. The referee this afternoon, by the way, is Simon Marciniak from Poland. Very experienced European referee. Managed many a Champions League game at the highest of conditions. Both Vargas and Eibischer are okay, by the way. And Switzerland ready to take this free kick once more. Vargas stepping away from that one. Eibischer will take. As the hand goes up, he will deliver this one. Right-footed, whipping to the back post, but far too close to Gianluigi Donnarumma, who will gather simply there for Italy. But decent idea. The execution was lacking from Eibischer there. But too much whip on the ball. It was far too close in the end to the Italian keeper. He dealt with it fairly comfortably. Again, Italy's ball forward. Blocked in midfield by Freuler there. Goes out for an Italy throw on the right hand side. Not seen much of Scamacca so far in this one. Not seen very much of any of the front three from Italy in the early moments. Here's Mancini. Di Lorenzo trying to play through the lines, but again breaking down as Chiesa puts that one out of play, but he had to take that one, kind of take a heavy touch for that first one. Try and bring it under control. Switzerland mess up the following throw in, and now Xhaka's gone down, which would be another worry. This will be a worry for Switzerland. Granit Xhaka, of course, the captain of this Swiss team. A massive figure in midfield. He is quickly back to his feet, but certainly didn't go down for no reason. Very stop-start early moments here this game. Quite a lot of injuries, quite a lot of stoppages for players just trying to sit down on the pitch for a couple of minutes. Not that they haven't had a couple of days rest. These two teams, Group A and Group B, respectively. Switzerland and runners-up of Group A, and Italy the runners-up of Group B. Here's El Shaarawy. Across it comes to Fagioli. Now Di Lorenzo. Out to Chiesa. There was a massive threat against Croatia on the final group game. Federico Chiesa was basically running the Italian attack. That's a nice ball in behind. Here's Cristante. Look over the cross, and well blocked by Rodriguez. Will be an Italian corner, but first real time we've seen Italy playing between the lines. Really nicely weighted ball in behind, and Cristante made the run down the right wing, trying to just play it low across the box, but Rodriguez had that covered all day long. It will be an Italian corner. And Varela shouting some instructions there, telling him to communicate. Corner here for Italy. Fagioli to take. Right-footed delivery, it's a high one, back post. Poor connection as Switzerland try and clear the line. Share comes all the way back out. Again, as Italy look to recycle. All the way back to Fagioli on the halfway line. Cross to Darmian. That set piece again. A bit of a letdown there for Italy. That set piece. Much more promising as they try and go for the switch ball. Chiesa just can't keep it in. Nice idea. Just escaped Federico Chiesa on that right flank from Fagioli's ball. Nice idea. Unlucky. Certainly seeing a bit more from Italy now in these last 2 minutes or so. Yeah, got off to a really difficult start. Switzerland had them under pressure very early on. Rodriguez goes down the line, infield it comes. And Doy made a lovely run, left it. Vargas plays it through. Not making the run. Here's Mbolo. Looking to lift it, but again, easily gathered by Donnarumma. Initially a good attack by Switzerland, but it just broke down. They had no pace to break through. And now El Shaarawy's breaking forward for Italy as he's upended there. The referee is going to give a free kick here for Stefan El Shaarawy. Just seeing that, just steps across Granit Xhaka, and Xhaka just has his body in the way, upending the Italian left winger. Will be a free kick, but again, really good run. Braille Mbolo just broke off and left the ball, allowed Ruben Vargas to break through the middle, and then the ball came wide again, and Mbolo just tried to cross it into the box, but couldn't find anyone in there. Dan and Doy was at the back post, Vargas at the front post, and couldn't find either of them. Really poor, ultimately, in the last pass there from Switzerland, but the counter-attack was initially quite good. As they now have a free kick to defend, Switzerland. So, the Italian keeper doing his job at one end. Jan Sommer hasn't really been called into question so far. He's sorting out his wall here for this Italian free kick. some distance. 27 metres the distance to goal. Have to see the yardage as the ball's chipped over the top, and Di Lorenzo made the run but completely missed the ball. Switzerland had really switched off there. No one tracking Di Lorenzo. I mean, he's offside anyway, but yeah, he's quite a distance offside there. He should be doing a lot better. Just went half a second too early, Di Lorenzo. If it wasn't offside, it would be bigger questions, but that, again, that set piece ultimately coming to nothing. Here's Rodriguez. Back to Manuel Akanji. Switzerland go back again to Jan Sommer. As I was saying, both teams finished second in their group. Switzerland behind Group A winners Germany on 5 points. They've denied first place, as I said, by an added time equaliser from the hosts on match day 3. And Italy were the runners up to Spain in Group B. The holders look set to finish third, of course, if they didn't get that equaliser. But of course they equalised deep into added time against Croatia. Matija Zekanji's first international goal in the 90th minute secured a 1-1 draw for Italy and securing second spot, which ultimately, if they had finished third, might not have been enough to progress to the knockouts, because ultimately Croatia find themselves out of the competition. Although different points tallies might have been the difference there. And Bolo, nice work in between the lines, and again tried to come centrally there. And Bolo and Italy got a lot of bodies in the way. It's cleared once more. Rodriguez, Xhaka, get to spin it out to Ndoye on the right hand side. Nicely taken down by Dan Ndoye. Cuts it back to Freuler. Out wide to Cher. Has to come back again to Xhaka. All the Swiss outfield players in the Italian half there for a good moment. It's certainly Switzerland controlling the tempo, controlling the game at the minute. Really just stepping off, allowing them to have that possession. Waiting for a mistake like that, although Xhaka's poor ball is recovered by Rodriguez. Here's Ibischer down the line to Vargas. Up against Di Lorenzo. Looks to weave his way through, but has to cut back to Xhaka. Fed it nicely in between the lines, and the ball there from Ibischer. Couldn't find any of his teammates, and Chiesa will just see that one out for a goal kick. Again, a bit better from Switzerland again in between the lines. In and around the edge of the box, but again, just that last pass letting them down. It was Fabian Rieder that time that was involved in and around the edge of the 18-yard box, but once again Italy's defence coming out on top. Of course, that was how they won this title back in 2021, more or less defending their way to the trophy. I think if you're going to play like this, you're going to have to score at least a couple. They don't have the most potent attack, Italy. In their 4 games building up to the Euros, the 2 games in March and 2 games in June, they only scored a total of 5 goals in their 4 games. 2 with one of those 4 games finishing 0-0 against Turkey. And of course, scoring 3 goals in their 3 group games. 2 against Albania, none against Spain, and 1 against Croatia, but certainly not convincing consistently in front of goal, Italy. Here's Akanji. Having to defend early on here, Italy. The first half of this first half, as we say, as Berlin Bolo makes the run in behind, and then Bolo has his effort saved. Might have the flag have stayed down for the moment, as Ndoye tries to squeeze one in. Again blocked. Freuler from distance will shoot. Takes a deflection, and Mbolo has to leave it, as he was definitely offside that time. But the flag stayed down there. Mbolo probably, he's just thinking about it now. How good a chance that was. He looked to be just onside. Yeah. Trying to see who it was. One of the Italian defenders played him onside, and Donnarumma had to make that save because Mbolo had a really good chance there. Didn't mix much of that in terms of my voice because I was expecting the flag to go up, but Italy poor at the back there. Defenders giving a lot more space to the Swiss striker, and they probably would have wanted to there. Ultimately getting away with it again. Donnarumma making that save. And that's surely the best opportunity of the game so far. Certainly from a Swiss point of view it is. Rodriguez to Xhaka. It's all about confidence at this level in these knockout games. How confident are you to take it to your opposition? So far Switzerland haven't looked nervous one bit. They've looked very confident, very assured within themselves and their ability that they can see off Italy here this afternoon, and the way they've played, Italy have allowed them to have possession. Here's Mbolo from distance, had the shot as Mancini got the block on that one, and Bastoni looks to clear. Darmian down the line trying to find the run of Chiesa, who's come off the left now for a moment as he's leaving Swiss players in his wake there. It's really good from Chiesa. Now Fagioli. He's got space and time on the ball here. Fagioli trying to lift it over the top. The Scamacca blocked off again. Freuler's clearance folds its way to Chiesa now. Into the box comes Chiesa, chopping his way through. And the shot has to be put behind by Akanji, but Switzerland had nothing in the way of Federico Chiesa there. No one got anywhere near him. Swivelling his way through into the box, and Akanji had to throw a right leg at it to put it behind, but certainly not convincing defending there from Switzerland. I said Chiesa could be the key for Italy. He almost practically run their attack, as I said, against Croatia, trying to get that equaliser that they ultimately did get, but he's going to be scoring goals tonight, Italy. They certainly will have to come through Chiesa, as we've just seen there. Corner for Italy. Cleared behind again by Freuler at the front post. Fagioli will have another chance to deliver here from the left. 26.5 minutes gone in Berlin. 0-0. His first of 8 round of 16 games as the cross comes in again. And Bolo to clear. As Barella recycles once more for Italy. As they look to go for the deep delivery, and that one just ahead of Cristante and easily gathered by Jan Sommer. But again, a good idea by Barella. Not a bad effort. Remember, of course, extra time and penalties if necessary. Of course, we're a long way away from that. Just a quick reminder. Here's Mbolo. Nice ball out wide here to Ndoye. The game's opened up a bit here. Here's Ndoye. Again, that shot blocked once more. Italy getting bodies in the way very well once again. Switzerland finding the spaces. Here's Xhaka. Him starting to up the tempo now. Ibischer finding Reader. Out wide to Ndoye. Ndoye with a cross, and all the way through the 6-yard box. Nobody throwing themselves at it there. Go behind for the Italian goal kick, but really good again from Dan Ndoye. Nice delivery, but no one trying to get on the end of that one. In the box, and Switzerland had another good chance passed them by. You're not going to be on top for the whole game, and while you are on top, you need to take advantage of it. So far, Switzerland really haven't done that. Had dominant possession and had created good chances. I've said multiple times, their last pass, their last moment. Their clinical finishing hasn't been there for the moment, but long way to go yet. As again, sloppy from Italy in the middle, and Ndoye will pick up the loose ball. Italy just not clicking at the moment. Freuler. Akanji. Down the left for Rodriguez. Through the lines to Mbolo, who holds up the ball well, and in a challenge, the referee says there's no foul, but Italy give it straight back to Switzerland again. Xhaka. Braylon Mbolo. Look at that, feed it in behind, but well blocked off again by Italy. Swiss throwing bodies at this, and Italy's ball forward there from Al Sharawi will find Jan Sommer. Really disjointed from Italy. They're just pinging balls. Not really consistent in their passing. Very sloppy passes every now and again. When they come under that Swiss press, they're just panicking and pinging the ball anywhere up front and trying to find somebody. But hit and hope at the minute from Italy at times. Here's Ndoye. Again takes it down on the right hand side nicely. Cuts it back again to Cher. Now Xhaka. Has to go back to Akanji. Switzerland pushing themselves almost exclusively into the final third here. Reader. Ndoye goes for the delivery again. Bastoni with a header clear. Cher back into the box, but that header will only find Donnarumma. Don't forget also, we have another round of 16 game for you. The hosts are in action a bit later on. They take on Denmark, the runners-up of Group C. Take on the Group A winners a bit later on tonight, 8 o'clock on LFS. The hosts have been one of the impressive sides so far. And we'll see them in action against Denmark, who have a bit more work to do, according to their head coach, Kasper Hjulmand. More to give. Be a tough ask against the hosts, who will have, of course, a lot of support in Dortmund a bit later on this evening. Here's Barella. Again spinning into Swiss trouble. Here's Aebischer. Again, had nowhere to go with his pass. Has to come all the way back to Rodriguez. Now Aebischer. He's got Vargas with him. Aebischer looks to chip it into the middle. Bastoni with a header again, and Ndoye keeps it alive. Xhaka. Cher breaking his way through, trying to squeeze the pass forward, blocked again. Xhaka recycles, but constant pressure here from Switzerland. They're knocking on the door. Rodriguez will shoot, and that one we'll see going quite a distance over the bar there from Ricardo Rodriguez. Certainly not a decent effort, but there's evidence that Italy are frustrating Switzerland. They are getting space and time on the ball, Switzerland, but Italy just not allowing them those gaps in and around the 18-yard box to squeeze away through. Got bodies in the way very strongly, Italy. Got bodies back and got those blocks in very firm. And one thing I would say about Italy, despite having not kept a clean sheet so far in the competition, they're certainly not wide open at the back. They've got a very solid defence, a very strong defence, and a very kind of physical defence. Italy or Switzerland play through the lines there, and Mbolo couldn't get the last touch on again. Italy get blocks in the way once more as Switzerland will win the throw-in of Rodriguez. But Italy again, really dropping deep, allowing Switzerland those moves, those players that can pass through the lines. Aebischer again, trying to find Mbolo. I mean, the sheer number of bodies got in the way of the Swiss attacker, but ultimately, if Switzerland keep finding those spaces and keep threading those balls through the middle, at one point or another, they are going to break through. And if Italy keep dropping deep the way they have, and not find a way out on the counter, if that's their idea. So far it seems to be the idea of counter-attacking from Italy, but not shown anything on that front so far. 33 minutes gone in Berlin. Switzerland 0, Italy 0. In the first of the round of 16 games, the knockout stages get underway at Euro 2024. Switzerland take their throw in quickly. Ball again, poor across the box that time. Really poor decision by Fabian Rieder. It's not a great delivery. Try and find Vargas. Didn't catch it right. Easily grabbed by Donnarumma. Of course, Switzerland unbeaten in the tournament this time round. They won 3-1 on match day 1, and then those 2 draws against Scotland and Germany have them, of course, unbeaten in the tournament. So that's a feeling they'll want to continue. Italy, of course, have felt defeat. 1-0 loss to Spain on match day 2, although they probably could have conceded a lot more than that on that day. Donnarumma made 8 saves in that game, denying Spain, so Italy probably lucky to come out of that one with just a 1-0 defeat, because it could have been really ugly that night. Spain were a class above them. Italy will be happy to know that they won't face Spain if they do face Spain again in the tournament, which is unlikely, because the only time that they will play each other, if that is the case, would be the final, with them being on opposite sides of the draw. So Italy, certainly if they can get through this, they won't have an easy task either against England or Slovakia in the quarterfinals, and then a possible matchup with another tough side. The Netherlands could find themselves through to the semis if they get progression that far. Barella has just got a yellow card here. Just challenging a bit late on Fabian Rieder there, which sees Barella in the book. We've already seen quite a number of suspensions in the tournament so far. I mentioned it, 10 suspensions, either for match day 3 or for this round, the round of 16 ties, from quite a number of players. Of course, Calafiori, the Italian centre-back, who's been very impressive so far, got himself 2 yellow cards in the group games. It sees him suspended for this one. Here's Dan N'Doye, breaking forward, plays it through the lines. It just escaped Abishur. He still will pick it up though. Couldn't take it in a stride. The deflection just slightly took it away from him. Abishur, Xhaka, lots of Swiss bodies in the box. They need to find one of them here. Rodriguez, Xhaka, Kanji again. Freuler. Back to Cher, who will have to go back to Manuel Akanji. Less than 10 minutes of the first half to go. Switzerland 0, Italy 0. Switzerland certainly the better of the 2 sides so far in this one, having the better of the chances and the better of the play. And Bolo heads it across, looking for N'Doye. Finds Vargas now on the left. Better play from Switzerland. Vargas looks to cross it in. The shot, the goal! And it's in from Remo Freuler. Wonderful combinations from Switzerland, and they take the lead in Berlin. The Azzurri have been second best from the very first whistle, and Switzerland just haven't been able to put it all together so far. But on that occasion they did, and they reaped the rewards. Remo Freuler giving Switzerland the lead in the round of 16. Italy cannot complain. They've allowed Switzerland all the possession, all the control, all the attack in play. And they said if they keep doing it, at one point they will put it all together, Switzerland, and they will find the net. Really nicely with a ball by Vargas. Fantastic first touch by Freuler. Sets it up perfectly to take the strike with his left foot. And it just deflects in off the right leg of Donnarumma. Really good play from Switzerland. I said they struggle with that last pass, but they put it all together there, and they find the lead in the German capital. Switzerland 1, Italy 0. Remo Freuler, of course, some will know. Bit of Premier League talk, bit of Premier League experience with Nottingham Forest, of course. Signed in August 22 for Forest for over £7.5 million. Then actually went on loan last season to Bologna, but returned to Nottingham Forest before he will join Bologna officially in 2 days' time on the 1st of July, joining for £3.8 million. The Swiss will join Italian side Bologna, and he's given his side the lead against the Italian national team. As Italy have gone behind in all 3 games so far. They find themselves behind for a 4th successive time in the tournament. Certainly not convincing from the reigning champions so far. As El Shaarawy's foul there gets Italy up the pitch, gives them a chance to lift it in. Freuler there, just a collision with El Shaarawy. Maybe just stamp, yeah, just kind of steps onto the foot of El Shaarawy there. It's accidental. But of course a free kick nonetheless, as Fagioli will try and deliver. Massively underhit that one. Switzerland will easily clear their lines on that occasion. Didn't even get anywhere near the Italian attackers there. Barella. Out wide to Di Lorenzo. Back to Nico Barella. Cristante. Fagioli. Again, they're laboured in their passing so far, Italy. There's not much movement. I mean, they're very rigid. Those forwards, they're not moving to give their midfielders options at the moment. Switzerland are just having an easy time of it, just marking a space, not having to track a loose runner. Here's Barella. Look to try and find the run of Scamacca, but again, well dealt with by Rodriguez, who heads it out for the Italian throw. Cristante. Across it comes to Fagioli, now out to the left-hand side. El Shaarawy, back to Fagioli. Nice turn of the ball. Fagioli out down the left-hand side to Matteo Darmian. The majority of his touches, Darmian, so far have probably been in his own half, like the majority of the Italian players. Here comes Fagioli, though. Darmian again goes backwards. Really reluctant here at the moment, Italy to go gung-ho with it. Chiesa, now to Di Lorenzo. The first thought was to pass it back. Cristante. Probably their best spell of possession in the game for Italy. Another ball pinged forward, but Rodriguez dealt with it well again. Although they will win it back once more, Italy, through Mancini. And they have to go all the way back to Donnarumma, though. Really very one-dimensional, Italy, so far. And Di Lorenzo, I think, got caught in the turf there. As he tried to catch the ball, he kind of slipped on the turf and it took himself down there. Just seeing the goal again, it's really well worked. I mean, no one tracking Freuler at any point in that run. I mean, a really good run, late run into the box, but no one had a clue whatsoever that he was coming in. That's really poor defending by Italy, but fantastic run by Freuler, really well weighted ball by Vargas, and the finish was just fantastic. But Italy will be very disappointed with that, and I'm sure Spalletti will be very disappointed the fact that his side have conceded such a chance. How they've been so rigid, so defensively solid so far in the game. Donnarumma, just seeing a clip of him as Di Lorenzo gets back to his feet after receiving a bit of treatment. See again. Yeah, he kind of just slides in the turf and it kind of twists his ankle a slight bit. And the slip ultimately ending up with a Swiss throw. As Di Lorenzo is okay to continue. Switzerland will get the throw in from this position. Di Lorenzo back onto the field of play. Kanji. Rodriguez. Ball will find its way to Aebischer. Last few minutes of the first half. At the moment, Switzerland leading in Berlin. And Doy, nice touch in field. Dan and Doy's got space ahead of him. He's been pulled back, but he still holds the ball. Reader. Squares it across. Ibisher. Just about gets that one off to Xhaka. Again, good play from Switzerland again as the ball comes down the right-hand side. Here's Freuler. Breaking down the right flank that time. Switzerland looks so comfortable on the ball. Really promising. Really impressive. The way that they've played. They know it inside out. And they're playing it very, very well at the moment in Italy. Really struggling. I think they might have to change their ideas at half-time, Italy. I think Spalletti might have to get the tactics board out because so far they've really been quite blunt in all areas of the pitch. Here's Scher making a run forward for Switzerland. And he will get the free kick here as he's hacked down there, Fabian Scher. There will be a yellow card coming out to El Shaarawy there for that challenge. Yeah. He just dove in at Scher there. Can't be doing things like that. Gets him a yellow card. The second player of the game, both Italian players on a yellow card, Barella and El Shaarawy now. As we are about to find out how long will be added on to the first half here in Berlin. And Switzerland will have another free kick to take. As we will have 3 added minutes at the end of the first half then. As Reader gets ready to take this free kick. Left-footed delivery. Look at the shoot. And Donnarumma had to come across. It's a really threatening effort by Fabian Reader. Tried to sneak it in the left post. That's really good goalkeeper, but a fantastic delivery. Wonderful from Donnarumma to spot it. It was just sneaking in, and he got a hand to it to palm it onto the post. Fabian Reader with a wonderful effort there. Donnarumma denying him a really good goal. They'll have a corner though, which will be delivered deep again. Headed away by Cristante. Still alive though as Chiesa tries to hook it away. It will go out for a Switzerland throw, but Switzerland certainly at this moment in time very much the better side. And probably should find themselves at least 2-0 up here at half-time. They might still do, but they should have 2 goals from the chances they've created already. Certainly serious questions to be asked of the reigning holders of the European Championships at half-time. 45 minutes to up their level. Otherwise they will be cast adrift and follow the same fate as the world champions did in the 2021 Euros, going out at the round of 16 to Switzerland. Long way to go though yet. Again Akanji, well covered over on El Shaarawy. Now down the right hand side is Ndoye, looking to run again at the Italian defence, and he will get a corner out of that one. Ndoye. Darmian complaining that he didn't get a touch to that one. I don't think he did actually. Don't think that is a corner. Once again, Dan Ndoye causing problems. Alexandru says a nice match so far. It has been a decent match. Switzerland certainly the better of the 2 sides. Deservedly ahead. They have a corner. Deep one to the back post and too high there for trying to see who that was. Fabian Scher, I believe it was, but there was a free kick. Anyway, given to Italy. Foul on Donnarumma. I mean, that's weak. There's no way. Look, I'll assess that at half-time. I'll talk about that at half-time. But what I've just seen there from Donnarumma is this kind of simulation, if I've ever seen one, from a goalkeeper. Italy coming out then. Last couple of seconds of the first half. As Mancini has the ball. And that will be the last touch of the first half. A first half where Italy by far have not shown their champion status at all. Switzerland have been much the better side and deservedly lead at the half. They probably could be further ahead. Brelin Bolo had an effort that was saved by Donnarumma that he probably should have finished because he thought he was offside. And that one just before half-time as well from Fabian Reeder's free kick. They could be 3-0 up. But at half-time in Berlin, it is Switzerland 1, Italy 0. Analysis on the way next. Welcome back to Euro 2024 live with me, Kevin Ferris, for the first of our 8 round of 16 games we'll have live here on LFS, and we'll run you through those fixtures during this half-time break, because we have some exciting ties to bring you over the next 4 days. We'll also have a guest commentator, a few things to get over the line there, but a guest commentator to come in over the next to do a game for us at some point. We'll let you know further about that as and when we have further details. Right, half-time, as I said, Switzerland 1, Italy 0 at the break, and the Italians have been very much second best in that first half. They've been really poor all over the pitch. Italy have been run rings around by Switzerland. They've been much the better side, much better in their press, their possession, their ball play, their movement in between the lines. Their centre forwards have been much more threatening. Even their intricate football, their one-touch passing has been fabulous, Switzerland. Italy look like they've been on holiday for about 3 days and haven't got going yet. I mean, they really haven't looked anywhere near the level in that first half, Italy. And if they're going to come back in the second half and going to progress to the quarterfinals, they're going to have to, at this moment in time, up the level completely. They were well below par in that first half. And look, we will take no credit away from Switzerland because they deserve all the credit from that first half. They upped the level completely. But Italy were nowhere near it, and we have to talk about that because they are the reigning champions. And there's a reason that the reigning champions, there's only been a time where the European Championships was won back-to-back by the same team once in history, because it's not easy to do. But Italy have the quality. They have the players. They have one of the best tacticians in European football in Luciano Spalletti, one of the best attacking coaches in the game, but has delivered absolutely nothing so far. I mean, Italy have been really, really poor. They've had one shot in the game, and it's off target. They haven't had a good effort. They haven't tested Jan Sommer whatsoever in the game. They've not got anywhere near consistently the 18-yard box of Switzerland. They've really struggled. I mean, they've had 4 touches in Switzerland's box in that first half, and I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of them are maybe either from a set piece or trying to nick it late on. They've not really combined to make anything substantial in that first half, Italy, and that's really poor, really disappointing, really kind of letting the side down. The Azzurri have probably relied upon, one, their goalkeeper and one, their defence in that first half, because their midfield have had no options ahead of them. Their attackers have looked really rigid, really one-dimensional, and really lacking movement. I mean, they're just sitting in place, and Switzerland allowed to just hold their positions, cover the spaces, and they're not really being tested because the Italian players are not moving. So Switzerland don't need to make any drastic moves in between the lines. Their probably best effort of the game is winning a corner. But they haven't found anybody of real significance. I mean, I don't think we've seen Scamacca at all in that first half very much. He's had 7 touches in that first half. He's had about 2 or 3 touches in Switzerland's half. The majority of his touches, if he's got them, have been in his own half, Scamacca. I mean, it's really poor from Italy. Really, really poor. But so far, I have to say credit to Switzerland because I mentioned in that first half, Switzerland have been much the better side in terms of the way they've played, but their whole mentality and their attitude to coming into this game, coming against one of the big sides, one of the top sides, one of the best sides in Europe, and the reigning champions, could weigh heavy on you. But we've seen this Swiss side before in previous tournaments. I mentioned they put France out at the round of 16. At that time, France were the world champions. They don't allow the occasion to overstate them, Switzerland. They're confident in the way they play. They're really comfortable in the football they play. They know their play inside out, and they know how to get past a team like in Italy who play the way they do. But Switzerland haven't looked nervous, haven't looked kind of off the ball at all in that first half. They've looked really sharp, really controlled, really calm, really composed, and really kind of consistent in their play, really strong in their physical challenging, but really kind of cute and intricate in their passing in between the lines, but not rushing it, not taking too many unnecessary risks. They've played it very, very well, and they deserve the lead, if not even a bigger lead they deserve at half-time. 1-0 probably understating their play. And I said at times in that first half, ultimately their last pass was letting them down. Just that last moment just wasn't clicking for Switzerland in the first 25-30 minutes of the game. Just wasn't getting that final pass right, that final touch, that final shot right. But when it clicked, and that's when their goal came. When they got into good areas and they were playing really nice football and they knew exactly what way to work it. They got into a really good space, carved a really good kind of chance out of it, and got a good goal from Raymond Freuler. I mean, I talked about how Italy's defending from that position, from that goal, when we saw the replay of it. Really poor. I mean, Raymond Freuler makes a run from about 25 yards and just runs into the Italian box. No one marking him, no one watching his run at all. Just really lazy defending from Italy, and then they have to rely upon their goalkeeper again. And Donnarumma, very, very good goalkeeper, top-class keeper, but he cannot save everything. I mean, maybe he can, but so far from what we've seen that first half, Switzerland have had, 10 shots in that first half? 10 shots. He can't save everything. And he made a very good save just before the end of the half, Donnarumma, from that Fabian Rieder free kick that looked to sneak in the near post from where Rieder was taking the free kick, and Donnarumma smartly watched it and met it all the way across. Really smart goalkeeping. But, Italy depended and relied upon their goalkeeper at Euro 2020. I get that maybe he will be the big kind of motivator for Italy in this tournament, but if they're going to rely upon their goalkeeper, they're going to have to defend situations a lot better and play a lot better in games if they're going to progress, because at this moment in time, Switzerland are tearing them to bits. I would fear to even think what anybody else would do to them. We've already saw what Spain could do to them, and they've been the best side in the tournament. Italy have looked below par all the way through, and if they don't improve, they will be going home very, very soon. If not, maybe if they don't do it today and come back in this one, they certainly, I don't think, will get any further than the quarterfinals playing the way they have in that first half. Even past this round would be a difficult task for the Azzurri. One thing I did want to mention from that first half, just before we talk about the fixtures for the round of 16 and what the route to the final will be, I want to talk about Donnarumma. I'm all for protecting a goalkeeper, making sure that they're not kind of exploited. But one thing I do not stand for is idiocy from goalkeepers, just dropping to the floor at the drop of a hat. Pardon the pun, but ultimately going down so easily to win a free kick, it's just really pathetic. And I've said it before, goalkeepers are very overprotected in modern football. A big player like that, Donnarumma, is not a small player. He's very strong, very physically impressive, and very tall. He doesn't go down he doesn't go down under a very slight challenge. He did in that first half, and I wanted to make that point, because if we're going to get free kicks for that, I dread to think what way the game will be going. The goalkeepers are very overprotected. Anyway, rant over. Switzerland 1, Italy 0 at half-time. Then, let's see what their possible opponents, if Switzerland do confirm their place in the quarterfinals, which we've still another 45 minutes to go until that happens. Let's see who they could possibly face and round up all of the final route to the final brackets then for you. Here we are. Let's have a look at the left-hand side. We'll finish with our game, which is down in the bottom right corner. We'll start on the left. The most impressive side in the tournament, Spain, won Group B quite convincingly. The only side so far to have won all three of their games in the groups. Spain, the most impressive side of the tournament so far. They faced Georgia, the story of the tournament so far, having beaten Portugal on match day 3 in Group F. They secured a place in the knockouts for the very first time in their history, of course, making their debut at this tournament. Georgia, the lowest ranked side in the competition, 74th in the world. They will face off against Spain in the round of 16. Germany, we'll watch a bit later on. They take on Denmark. The hosts will have a tough task if they progress. They could face possibly Spain in the quarterfinals, but they have Denmark to come up against first. And if Kasper Hjulmand is predicting well, the head coach of Denmark, they will be a lot better than what they've delivered previously in their 3 group games. He says there's a lot more to come for them. Let's see how they do against Germany a bit later on. Portugal, another decently impressive side after that shock defeat to Georgia on match day 3. Probably one of the biggest stories in European football on the international stage in recent times. They will face against Slovenia, a side who impressed in their group, again in England's group, in Group C, finishing 3rd ultimately, Slovenia, but 3 draws from their 3 games, something that Portugal did en route to winning the competition back in 2016. And we will face off France and Belgium on the left-hand side, down the bottom left corner. The 2016 runners-up and the team that were put out, the round of 16 at 2020 tournament. France won the World Cup in 2018, of course. They will face off against Belgium, one of the probably biggest underperformers, underachievers at international level. They had the best quality, the best players, the best team, the best manager at a time, but they haven't delivered, haven't won a trophy with that status. They're still the 3rd best ranked side in the world and the 2nd best ranked side in Europe. They're coming up against the first, France, at the round of 16. On the right-hand side, the so-called easier side of the draw, Romania take on the Netherlands. Romania, who finished top of Group E, they will take on the slightly underperforming Netherlands, who finished 3rd in Group D in the round of 16. Austria and Turkey will both be happy that they have each other. In that sense, they've avoided some of the big sides, all the other big sides, the so-called big sides, in the other ties. Austria, wild performers. They topped Group D so far, very impressive under Ralph Rangnick. They will face Turkey, who finished runners-up in Group F. England take on Slovakia. Slovakia, of course, another impressive side, one of the impressive sides so far in the tournament, finishing ultimately in 3rd in Group E, but very impressive after their opening day win against Belgium. They will face off against England, who top Group C, and of course, as we're watching at the moment, Switzerland against Italy. So I mentioned before the game, and I will keep mentioning it until it has an impossibility of happening. It could end up not happening after this game, but we could, in the quarterfinals, see the repeat of 3 previous European Championship finals. If Spain and Germany both progress, that will be a repeat of the 2008 final, which Spain were the champions. Portugal and France both progress, that will be the repeat of the 2016 final, which Portugal emerged champions in that fixture. And England-Italy, if they both progress on the right-hand side of the draw, that could be a repeat of the 2021 final, which Italy ended up coming champions. That is a possibility if those sides progress, which would set us up for an absolute stormer of a quarter-final setup, but a long way to go until that is the case. Right, second half on the way from Berlin in a moment. Just to remind you then, a bit later on, our second round of 16 game between Germany and Denmark, the hosts, in action in Dortmund. A bit later on, they take on Denmark, 8 o'clock tonight. Second half from Berlin, on the way next. Welcome back to Euro 2024, live on LFS with me, Kevin Ferris, the first of our round of 16 games. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. We have every game to the final now here on LFS, all the way through till the 14th of July, the live final here in Berlin, in this venue actually, Olympiastadion, we will have that one. And don't forget to follow us on socials as well, on X, Instagram and TikTok. All the links and handles you need are in the live video description. Go ahead and follow over there. You'll not want to miss the action over there. We'll have some late goal drama, hopefully, in this round. Italy going to make changes, just the one at half-time, and the man who got them this tie with Switzerland, that late equaliser against Croatia, Mattia Zaccagni, is going to come on, and he's going to replace Stefan Al-Sharawi on the left flank. Scored in the 98th minute, Mattia Zaccagni. His first international goal for the 29-year-old. What an impact he had in the dying moments of that game on the third group game of Group B. And he will hoping to have a similar impact for the Azzurri in this second half, where they have a lot to improve on. They probably can't play much worse than they did in that first half. They were really off the level, Italy. And maybe just a stern talking to from Luciano Spalletti will get them going a lot better in this second half. As they're off to a pretty poor start because they've given the ball away inside 10 seconds. Which is certainly not the start of the half you want. And Switzerland coming forward down the left-hand side. Abisher. Early bodies in the box here for Switzerland's jacket. Abisher. Now across the shot. What a goal from Ruben Vargas. That is an absolute stunner from the Swiss man. What a start to the second half for the Swiss. Italy needed to improve, but they've actually got worse to start the second half. An awful start to the second period sees Italy's deficit increase. Switzerland double their lead through an unbelievable finish from Ruben Vargas. Fantastic from Switzerland. Off to a wonderful start. Italy gave the ball away inside 10 seconds. They haven't received it since. And Ruben Vargas, unmarked onto the edge of the box, curled one into the top right corner. Too much for Donnarumma to reach. And that is a wonderful effort to start the second half from Ruben Vargas, as Switzerland lead by 2-0. What a start to the second half. Fabulous for Murat Yakin's team. What a wonderful start to the second half. Switzerland 2, Italy 0. They brought Zaccagni on to have an impact, Italy. Hasn't had a touch on the ball yet. And his impact needs to be even more than it initially did when he come on. And this is going to have to be a incredible comeback from Italy if they're going to come back in this night. First time in the tournament they've conceded more than one goal in a game. They conceded one in all three of their group games. And they did come back to rescue a win against Albania after being 1-0 down, and a draw to Croatia after being 1-0 down. But they have a tougher task and a bigger deficit to try and conjure back against Switzerland here. Italy just really off it here. Once again, they're scrambling to get the ball. As that will be a foul. That time on Zaccagni, the substitute, will win the free kick off Freuler. We'll get Italy up the pitch at least. Certainly a devastating start to the second half for the Azzurri. Wanted to come out and try and get off to a decent start in the second half, but it's gone the complete opposite direction. As Fagioli and Chiesa are over this one. Chiesa to deliver into the box. And it will loop all the way through and out the other end for a Switzerland goal kick. Is it the Switzerland effect? Are they the team to avoid in the round of 16? France found that out the harsh way. France were actually leading that game 3-1 at Euro 2021 before they ultimately went out on penalties. Looks like Italy are going to have to come from a 2-goal deficit. Try and even rescue this game to penalties or even extra time at this stage. We have a long second half to come before anything is decided. But Switzerland certainly in the driving seat here in the German capital. Darmian leaves it for Zaccagni. Trying to inject a bit of energy into this Italian side, who've been very lethargic. And that's an awful touch by Mancini. Gives it away to Vargas again. Dreadfully poor from Italy again. As they'll win the throw in there, Switzerland. Chiesa again very frustrated. Rodriguez did well there. Let's take that touch and get that throw in. Xhaka. 1-2 in between the lines. And Bolo picking up the loose ball here for Switzerland. This could turn ugly. Again, Switzerland can't find their way through the lines. Well cleared away by Italy, but last ditch slightly there. Spaces, no one is close enough. They're all at least 2 or 3 yards off their markers here, the Italians. Very much laboured in everything they've done this afternoon. Really, really poor. Comes all the way back to Donnarumma. Goes long, and that one again not finding a teammate. Switzerland will get the throw. But the longer this goes on, the further they play like this, Italy, the more frustrated they'll get, and the less composed they will be. The more they'll rush these decisions, and the more it will go in Switzerland's favour. Need to regain composure. Bit of calmness. Here's Chiesa, now Di Lorenzo. Mancini. To Fagioli. Across to Bastoni. Down the left-hand side it comes to Zaccagni now. Back infield to Fagioli. Cristante trying to string a few passes together, Italy. It's a bit better. It's Fagioli here in the middle. Out to the right-hand side. Fagioli now. Lifts it over the top. Oh! Oh! Cher! Almost putting it into his own net there. Hit the post. Goodness me, what was that all about? That was genuinely horrific from Fabian Cher. Miscommunication between him and Jan Sommer. And they almost created the most calamitous collapse there, Switzerland. Got away with that one. Di Lorenzo. That will give Italy a bit of confidence now. Di Lorenzo over the top. Finding Barella making a run. Di Lorenzo and Barella winning the throw-in. Better play from Italy. We get a chance. We'll have to see the replay on that Swiss bit of defending there. So not convincing. Bastoni. Driving forward. Finds Darmian. Now to the left-hand side to Zaccagni. Looking for the run of Bastoni, who will win Italy the corner. A lot better play. At least there's players making runs now for Italy. There's a lot better movement. Zaccagni will come over to take this corner for Italy. Mattia Zaccagni. 7 minutes gone in the second half. Switzerland 2, Italy 0. Italy looking for a early reprieve to get back into the game. Zaccagni's delivery. Away by Akanji. It will fall to the edge of the box, but that pop shot easily blocked as the ball comes all the way back to Donnarumma for the Azzurri. Well, Italy's last 4 international defeats, isn't it this? The last 4 international defeats have both come against Spain and England. 2 against England and 2 against Spain. That's their only defeats. 4 defeats dating back all the way to March 2023. When they lost that game to England 2-1 in the Euro qualifiers. Bastoni's penalised here for a challenge on Dan and Doy. Stepping across them. I mean, there's not much in that. Both pulling each other there. Not much in that. But Italy have faltered in these moments. They've not convincingly won a game in a while. Their biggest winning margin was actually 4-0 against Malta in the Euro qualifiers back in October of last year. But since that point, they've only scored more than more than 2 goals, just once in that run. That was a 5-2 win against North Macedonia. But every other game, they've won by either 1 goal or 2 goals. They're certainly not convincing Italy. They need to score 3 if they want to win outright here without conceding another. Here comes Fabian Rieder down the right-hand side. Look at the brick into the box. Cuts it back to Ndoye. Still bodies in there. Squared across to Xhaka. Out to the left. Here's Rodriguez who will shoot, but well charged down by Cristante, as it will go out for a Switzerland throw on the left. Right, finding that balance for Italy in the game. They were much too deep, much too defensive in that first half, and ultimately they allowed Switzerland everything, and they're all of their own way. But it's about finding that balance between trying to get forward and pushing up the pitch, but also not leaving yourself exposed at the back and under a vulnerable situation to Switzerland, who already are confident in the final third. Here's Freuler, linking up with Mbolo. Freuler to cut it across, and again had to be cleared away once more by Italy back there. As they give it away through Chiesa again, as Mbolo just a bit dawdling on the ball there a bit there, and Italy win it back. 10 minutes of the second half gone. They've certainly probably shown a lot more fight and ability in the second half already than they did in the first. Zaccagni looks to break past Ndoye. Went down, but referee says play on as Zaccagni keeps it alive. Looks to whip it in. Away by Fabian Schär. Now Fagioli. Cristante will shoot again. Charged down by Akanji. Again, they was shot from distance. Certainly not getting off from either of the defences so far. Certainly not the idea for this one. Shot from distance. I have to say, the man on screen there, Ruben Vargas, had a wonderful effort to double Switzerland's lead. Absolutely wonderful goal. You can certainly see where Italy are really missing their spine of the team. 2 players who are not in the side that have probably been crucial to Italy's kind of structure in games and the way they've played is Jorginho and Riccardo Calafiori. Jorginho on the bench and Calafiori, of course, the centre-back who's suspended. But those 2 big kind of misses in this team. You know, the midfield have not been good enough from Italy at all, really. Barella's really struggled with not having much link-up play. Fagioli and Cristante have had very minimal involvements in terms of creating things, as Mancini just gets a yellow card here for that late challenge on Fabian Rieder. So that's the 3rd Italian to be booked, although albeit one of them is no longer on the field of play. Barella the other. That is also on a yellow card. Much more frustration from the Italian fans as we glance over to that stand behind that goal on the right hand side. Certainly not jumping up and down, singing at this moment. Their singing is turned into plausible shouting at this stage, the Italian fans. We say it every time that although Italy are not knocked out yet, and it's a long way from that, and I might be jumping the gun here slightly, but to make the point, the job that Spain did to do back-to-back international championship wins, Euros, World Cup Euros, to do that is an even more impressive kind of achievement when you see what kind of other teams have struggled to do to build upon that. I mean, France almost did back-to-back World Cups. They lost in the final to Argentina, but the quality was there. But ultimately what I mean is, you know, going back-to-back in these international tournaments is very, very difficult, and it makes that Spanish achievement in the late 2000s, early 2010s a much more impressive achievement. The fact that your mentality has to be strong, that all 7 games you may not be perfect, but the ability and your kind of quality to stay in games and be there when you're needed and step up to the mark is a lot more impressive. As Ndoye will shoot from distance there, but that one certainly not going to be testing Donnarumma anytime soon. Still finding its way into the box. Dan and Toy there. But once again, in and around the box, Shetley just not getting anyone in the way there. Allowing him to have that effort. That's literally how Ruben Vargas' goal came about. Allowing the Swiss player time and space to the edge of the box. Here come Italy though. Zaccagni. Cross to Fagioli. He will lift it into the box again. Easily cleared by Ricardo Rodriguez that time. As it comes back to Cristante. Fagioli. And feed it forward to Scamacca, but well dealt with by Akanji once more in there. Holding off Scamacca. Rodriguez. Reader. Trying to break forward again. Taken down. That time it was Darmian. Another Swiss free kick. At the moment, keep those votes coming in the poll in the chat. We'll run a poll on every single knockout game. Who do you think will progress? At the moment, the poll as it says, who will make the quarterfinals? Switzerland just edging at 52%, Italy 48%. Get those votes in. We will close that poll at some point during this second half. Keep your votes coming in. Greatly appreciated. Your involvement in on the channel. Great to have you with us. Here's Rodriguez. As Vargas tried to square it across to Mbolo. A lot of pace there, but that one was well recovered by Italy, who still haven't had a shot on target yet. Italy, 3 shots, none on target. Cristante to Di Lorenzo. Now down the right is Chiesa. You're going to swerve his way past Abisher. Well marshalled, and Vargas spattling there. Wanted to throw in there Ruben Vargas, but the referee, the assistant, sorry, flagging for an Italian throw. Certainly doubling up on Federico Chiesa there, Switzerland. Not allowing him time and space down that right flank, showing what threat he has. How crucial he is at the moment to this attack. Di Lorenzo now. Down the line comes Chiesa. Chiesa will get the time to whip the ball in. Again cleared away by Scher, but good pressure from Italy this. Now Darmian. Fagioli. Have to go back to Mancini. Across it comes. Di Lorenzo. Mancini. Right to the left-hand side comes Darmian. Fagioli now. Back out to Darmian. Better movement from Italy in between the lines. Certainly not staying very rigid. Cristante is Italy readying some changes very shortly. Di Lorenzo now. Chiesa looking to drive across. Fizzes it into the box, but right into the hands of Jan Sommer. Nowhere near any of his teammates there from Federico Chiesa. And it looks like they are going to make a change now, Italy, and it's going to be Matteo Retegui. It's going to come on. Retegui. With about over a quarter of the game to go, about 27 minutes remaining, plus the additional time. Retegui, centre forward, looking to come on and make a difference for Italy. Trying to see what the change will be, whether they'll could go to a front two, Italy, if they do make that change, or they might just make the straight swap with Scamacca. We'll see now. The referee is actually going to be Nico Barella, so an extra attacker for a midfielder. So it looks like Cristante and Fagioli will drop into a 2 in midfield, and then we'll see how Retegui and Scamacca link up here, whether they go for a one out-and-out striker and one dropping a bit deeper, or they will go into a 2 up front. I'm guessing a 4-4-2 could be the idea here. It is. Scher tried to find Mbolo, but again, Mancini dealing with it well. Although the ball's given away there, not well dealt with by Darmian. Ibisher. Xhaka out to the left, finds Vargas. Up against Di Lorenzo. Vargas still alive, cuts it back to Xhaka. Xhaka will shoot, blocked again as he recycles it wide. Lovely touch. Finds Vargas. Couldn't find his teammates in a good space there as it has to come back to Rodriguez. Ibisher. Rodriguez continuing his run. Looking to lift it in, but not the best of deliveries. Italy again struggling to clear the line. So get another shot at it. Rodriguez. The overhead kick. Missed by Ndoye. As Italy will recycle the possession eventually now. I mean, that was just again calamitous from Italy there. Just couldn't clear the lines whatsoever. As they'll give away a free kick here. Fagioli, the man committing the foul, and Fabian Rieder again winning it for Switzerland. Another late challenge. Certainly not impressive from Italy on those fronts. Free kick here then for Switzerland. 3 could really, certainly put it to bed. 2-0 certainly not secure and definite, but 3-0 would certainly be a lot more comfortable. Rieder to deliver it in. Too much for that one from Fabian Rieder. Just high and wide there, not the best of deliveries from Rieder. Whether he was going direct for goal there or whether he did want to cross it in, either way, neither worked out. Goal kick for Italy. See how Switzerland adapt as the game goes on to having this 2-goal lead into the dying moments. Long way to go still, but I think Murat Yakin is eyeing up 1 or 2 changes just to keep the energy ticking over. That press has been so impressive. Again, pardon the pun. So impressive from Switzerland so far. It's been really good to watch. Probably been one of their best kind of displays, their pressing ability, Switzerland, off the ball today. Here's Bastoni. Across to Fagioli, out to the right hand side now. Di Lorenzo as the midfield infield option. Chiesa. Cristante with a deep delivery. Trying to find the run of Retegui at the back post. Cleared away by Switzerland. As Darmian will get ready for the throw in. Back to Retegui. Mancini now to Cristante. Di Lorenzo. Need to play it quicker, Italy, if they're going to find a way through. They've got 6 players in and around the upper end of the field at this moment. Here's Cristante. Down the right hand side is Chiesa up against Ibisher. Vargas is on the scene too. Here comes Chiesa trying to get past Ibisher. And will win the throw in. There, Federico Chiesa. Fantastic player. And has been probably at least best player of the day. See how Italy trying to attack this corner. Well, it set us up for a dramatic end to this one. Corner whipped in. Deep again. Far too deep. Really poor. It'll come back all the way out though and be recycled by Bastoni. I mean, the delivery was awful. The outswinger far too deep. And Jan Sommer will easily gather that one. Again, just really blunt, Italy at the moment. Just no sharpness, no cutting edge in the final third at this minute in time. I mean, they've taken off Barella, maybe because he's on a yellow card, but we look at everyone else in this Italian team in terms of their goal ability. I'll stop for the moment because here comes Chiesa trying to break into the box. Chiesa will get the corner. Just to confirm then, Di Lorenzo, who's on the field, scored 3 international goals, defender. Darmian scored 2, also a defender. Bastoni scored 2, also a defender. Jorginho, who's not on the field, has scored 5. Tesi scored 5, he's also on the bench. Cristante, who's on the pitch, has scored 2. Barella, who they took off, scored 10. Chiesa scored 7. Scamacca scored just the 1. The corner's whipped in, cleared away. Again, fantastic from Reader to take the touch away from Fagioli. Could set up a counter here for Switzerland if they want it. Xhaka does well to break the ball forward, and Switzerland will just cut it back and we'll have the possession at the back. But the point I'm making, El Shaarawy's come off. He has 7 international goals. Barella's come off. He has 10 international goals. They're 2 of their top scorers at international level in this current squad are now off the field, and they're needing goals. I get they're both on a yellow card, and both may be tired, but you need goals. Chiesa's your main man at the moment, and he's really struggling. Can't do it on his own. I mean, they've had a lot of players score their first international goals to give them chances in this one, Italy. But you're relying upon moments if you're going to do that, and it takes a long time for that to click. With 20 to go, Switzerland are going to make changes then, and it's going to be Ruben Vargas who scored that wonderful second goal to double Switzerland's lead at the start of the second half. He's going to be replaced alongside Fabian Reeder as well. So Vargas and Reeder coming off, and they're being replaced, one by Leonidas Stergiou, and the other change is going to be Steven Zuber. So Zuber and Stergiou on, replacing Vargas and Reeder. At the moment, Ruben Vargas' goal alongside Remo Freuler's goal. See Switzerland in cruise control in this one. 2-0 up with 20 to go. Italy all the work to do. And Italy, who I said have struggled in front of goal, not only at this tournament but also in the build-up games. I said they haven't scored more than 2 goals in a match since back in November when they beat North Macedonia. But they're going to have to do that if they want to win outright. They're going to have to score 2 goals without conceding if they're going to want to bring this to extra time or even penalties. They need to find goals from somewhere, otherwise they will be going home at this stage. And Switzerland might have another giant killing at the round of 16 again. As Scamacca, Zaccagni now to Fagioli. Cristante through the lines. Nice work to Retegui, and Retegui will shoot, but that one is certainly not testing the Swiss keeper Jan Sommer on the turn. That's certainly not a venomous shot that at all from Retegui. Pretty tame effort ultimately. We'll carry you through right to the end here if it does go to extra time and penalties, which will be a possibility. I mean, Italy scored 2 goals first, but just to remind you, that would be the case if we were to end the 90 minutes level. Italy have certainly had probably better of the possession. They have had more of the possession in the second half, but Switzerland, no need to be majorly urgent. The urgency kind of just stepped off the ball, and that could be a worry at 2-0, but they don't look vulnerable at the moment, Switzerland. They look very strong, very confident, very comfortable as the ball in behind, and the flick on off the post from Scamacca. Flag stayed down. I think Jan Sommer wanted the flag to go up, but it never came from that assistant, and that will certainly give Italy a bit more confidence now. Fagioli will have the shot. High and wide, curling wide of the goal, always there. Nice ball by Or not that effort from Fagioli, that's just the replay. We just see it here. Ball over the top. Running behind from Zaccagni. Flicked it on to Scamacca. And he just tried to flick it in the near post, Gianluca Scamacca, but just couldn't find it. Hit the post, and Switzerland maybe a warning sign as Italy make 2 more changes then. Pellegrini and Cambiasso have come on. And Cristante is one of those changes. I'll get you the other one in a second. Darmian is the other. So Cambiasso and Pellegrini on, replacing Cristante and Matteo Darmian for Italy. Rodriguez. Just over 15 minutes to go in Berlin. And at the moment, Switzerland will be the first side through to the last 8. Their 2 goals from Freuler and Vargas, having them in a confident position against the reigning champions. Xhaka. Kanji. Xhaka. Nice play through the lines again. Well, closed down by Italy there eventually, but Xhaka with a wonderful through ball. If you haven't voted already, do get those final votes in. I'm going to close that poll any minute now, so if you haven't voted and you have an opinion on who will get through, Switzerland or Italy, do get those votes in, because that poll will close in a matter of moments. Fagioli looking for the ball into the box. Share to clear it. The shot from Scamacca is a pretty poor one. Just flashed a shot there from Scamacca, but it was always rising and always flying its way over the bar. A really wasteful effort that from the edge of the box from the Italian number 9. The referee's going to account for more changes here then for Switzerland. They've already made 2 changes. Italy have made 4 in the game totally, and they can make 1 more. So Sierro and Dua will come on. They will replace Ndoye and Embolo. So Sierro and Dua. Dua, who scored the very first goal of the tournament for Switzerland, opened their scoring against Hungary on match day 1. And Ndoye has also got himself involved in goals. He's going to be replaced alongside Brel Embolo. And Dua and Sierro will be their replacements. Vincent Sierro, of course, the Toulouse midfielder, 20-year-old. Actually played in Germany with Freiburg back in 2017 and 2019 as well. Freuler to his teammate there. That is just onto the field. Switzerland win the throw in there. Down the right hand side, Stergiou will take. Down the line it goes. Here's Sierro, instantly involved, and Bastoni tried to spin back the other way to clear the ball, but ends up the ball going behind off the left boot of Bastoni there, and will be a corner to Switzerland now. As long as they keep it up this edge of the this side of the pitch, this end, they'll be pretty confident. Switzerland. A third goal now would be a game finisher. It would be a killer. 2-0, you never know. 3-0, certainly probably insurmountable at this stage. Sierro to lift the ball in all the way through, and the shot from the edge of the box from Remo Freuler is over the bar. And sent that one to the skies. Did Remo Freuler there, just snatching at that effort. And that shot going behind for the goal kick. Well, they've played each other 61 previous times. That is an incredible amount of games between these two over the years. Switzerland have won just 8 of those out of the last 61. Italy have won 29, and they've drawn 24 in that run of 61 previous meetings. Switzerland has scored 68 goals in those meetings previously. Italy 111 goals, of course. At the moment, it looks like Switzerland might be getting their 9th ever win against Italy here this afternoon, unless something dramatic happens later on. Xhaka intercepting Scamacca's pass. Now the ball in behind. The run in coming from Dua. Took a touch but couldn't get it far enough away from Bastoni. And Alessandro Bastoni measured that one very well. Certainly not pinging players forward. Switzerland at the moment, they are leaving their centre forward Dua to do it all himself. Ultimately, 5-4-1 seems to be the idea from Switzerland here. Drop into a deep block, a low block. Get bodies in the way. And try and hold off Italy. With 10 minutes to go in Berlin, they're going to have some sort of comeback now, the Azzurri, if they're not going to be heading on that plane in a day or two's time back home. Ball out to the left-hand side. Here's Zaccagni, who can make a difference. The cross is away by Akanji, as it will come straight back out here to Italy possession. Mancini. Bastoni. Really compact central areas here for Switzerland, forcing Italy wide. Here to Cambiasso, and a ball down the line for Pellegrini. Seen out by Fabian Schär. That was wonderful defending. He's done a lot of running today. Done a lot of hard yards. Fabian Schär. Will be a goal kick here to Switzerland, so they're not going to hurry. They'll take their time with this. They're in no hurry themselves. They're in the driving seat, as I said. They're in the comfortable position. Well, of course, Italy went on to win the last edition of the European Championships way back in 2021. My stats actually don't go that far back in Italy territory, if we now I get it. The last time Italy were knocked out of a European Championships, I will get back all the way. We're going a good distance here. When they were knocked out in the quarterfinals of the 2016 Euros, they lost on penalties to Germany in that quarterfinal. 1-1 draw over the two halves. Ultimately, extra time and penalties was needed, and they lost on penalties. Italy, that was the last time they were knocked out of the European Championships. Of course, won it in 2021, and this will be another day, another moment to forget. As here comes Switzerland in behind. Chance here. Xhaka forward. Oh, and Zuber's across the 6-yard box, but nobody in there to try and finish. Unlucky there from Zuber. Again, Switzerland have just looked the better side, the much more controlled and composed, a much more comfortable team on the ball all the way throughout this game. They have looked so calm and so kind of, I'm trying to say it, assured is the right word, assured in their ability, their quality and their chances in this. And they're about to do what they did in 2020, and a very impressive battle, ultimately outclassing their opposition, and will be finding their spot in the last 8 once again, unless Italy can conjure up one of the biggest late performances and comebacks in recent Euros history. That is what's needed. They're not showing much of it at the moment. Bastoni looking for the ball over the top. Scamacca made the run. Sorry, Retegui actually made the run. Scamacca was making the run into the box, but couldn't find the pass there, Retegui. Back to Bastoni it comes. Still just very one-dimensional again from Italy. There's no kind of switch up. They're trying something different. Here's Chiesa. Up against Derbyshire again. Deep delivery into the box. Retegui to head it back into the middle, but no one there. Back out it comes to Zaccagni. Decent intensity from Italy this. The shot from Pellegrini is again off target. High and wide that time. Again, Italy seemingly going out with a whimper here. Well, they've been improving gradually over the last two previous tournaments. Switzerland, they made the knockouts for the very first time at Euro 2016 Switzerland, ultimately going out at the round of 16 to Poland on a penalty shootout. Then they won from a penalty shootout at the round of 16 against France in 2021. Got to the quarterfinals before they lost to Spain, also on penalties that time round in the last 8. But seemingly doing it again and getting to the last 8 and hoping for a different result this time. And Italy will have one last throw of the dice as Nicolo Fagioli will leave the field of play and Fratesi will come on in his place. So one last switch for Luciano Spalletti's team as David Fratesi comes on for some fresh legs, extra legs to try and conjure up a late kind of free-flowing of attempts. Pellegrini's ball into the box. Zaccagni was the closest. Retegui couldn't bring it down. And again, Switzerland clear their lines. But it's coming right back at them here from Italy. Need to be quick about this. The ball into the box. Rodriguez to clear. Di Lorenzo gets it back down the line to Chiesa. 3.5 minutes plus additional time to go. Pellegrini, another deep cross in. Not fully dealt with. Cut back is, again, not convincing at all there. That time by Cambiasso, and again cleared away by Switzerland. Might have been a check for handball, maybe. Spalletti certainly felt there was a handball. I'm sure VAR will clean up any sort of questions on that. We might see a replay very shortly, but from first viewing, it didn't look like a handball to me. Anyway, here's Mancini. Bastoni, they need to get the ball up the pitch. Italy. A goal now could be transformative if they were to get it. It would really switch up the momentum and give them a chance to try and rush for a late equaliser, but they need to get the first one first. Pellegrini. Mancini. Back to Pellegrini. Bastoni. Out to the left it comes. Cambiasso will go deep. Too much for somewhere to reach, but too much for anyone to reach in there. And it will come out the other end for a Switzerland throw once more. No Switzerland fans are the loud ones inside the Olympic Stadium here, singing and cheering and jumping up and down. Their side seemingly reaching the last 8 of the Euros back to back, and only for the second time in the country's history. They're certainly in a bright spell in their European history on the international stage. Italy Their recent good form in the round of 16 will be coming to an end, it seems. They won both of their previous round of 16 ties at the European Championships. A 2-0 in Euro 2016 against Spain, and a 2-1 after extra time against Austria at Euro 2020. It's just not been anywhere near the level we've seen from Italy, both defensively and up front, and anywhere on the pitch. They've been void of any sort of Italian DNA that we've seen from the Italian football teams over the recent tournaments. Certainly nowhere near the quality or the level that we saw from Italy in the previous tournament, where they lifted this wonderful trophy. At this stage, it looks very, very unlikely they will lift it again. At the moment, it looks almost certain that they will be going home now. Here's Chiesa. There's no normal time left. It's added time or bust, and there's certainly not much of that. 2 added minutes in Berlin. It's almost impossible. Cambiasso. Mancini. Still passing it around the back at the moment, Italy, but that's not going to get them anywhere near the goal. And those Swiss fans are on cloud nine at the moment. They're loving and lapping up every single second of this. Euro 2020, they knocked out the world champions, France, at the round of 16. They're doing their business again, Switzerland, because it looks like they're going to knock out the reigning European champions at Euro 2024. Really good play. They've been wonderful all afternoon, and with just a minute to go, they're going to make another change. And Michel Aebischer is going to make way. And it's going to be Renato Steffen that's going to come on for these last few seconds. Sturgey to take the throw in. Less than 30 to go. And now Zuber can try and get Switzerland forward. It's now only the clock separating them from the last 8 here now. Switzerland's. The ball goes all the way back to Jan Sommer. Just awaiting on the final whistle from the referee. And there it is! The champions are out, and Switzerland, for the second time in their history, back-to-back occasions, they've knocked out one of the big boys to get to the quarter-finals. A wonderful achievement for Switzerland once again, who were by far the better of the two sides in Berlin. Italy, a shadow of their usual selves, nowhere near the level from the very first whistle. They went behind through Remo Freuler's efforts in the first half before getting the second half off to an awful start through Ruben Vargas's wonderful finish into the top corner to double the Swiss lead. Switzerland's are into the last 8. Italy, the champions, are out. Final score in Berlin in the opening game of the knockouts at Euro 2024. It's Switzerland 2, Italy 0. Wowee. What a way to get the knockouts underway. The champions are out, and Switzerland have done it again. They have done a number on one of the best sides in Europe. The current reigning champions will not be holding on to their trophy, and their defence of their title is now over. They're going home. So, the first of our 8 round of 16 ties is complete. Switzerland are through, and either England or Slovakia will be their opponents at the quarterfinals. We will watch that game tomorrow at 5. bit after this. One more game to come for you, and we'll show you the route to the final updated for that one as well for you. And we have one more game to come today. It's the hosts. Is there another giant killing on the cards, or will the hosts keep their route to the final on course? Germany looking to do a number on Denmark. Kick off from that one, 8 o'clock tonight. About an hour's time, we will be live for that one. For now, thanks for your company. The champions are right. The giant killings have just got underway. See you in about an hour's time.